I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, this is probably some documentary or short video about some tragic event or some sad story, but it's not. It's actually going to be fun. It's a little video to reveal my latest piece of art. Painting I call The T-Shirt That Went Bad. Now here it is, placed against some foliage to amplify its beauty. Oh crap, I forgot. This is kudzu. Oh no. Get. Now this is me skating and just drumming up some inspiration and some muse for some masterpieces. Giving couch surfing a little try. The piece is called The T-Shirt That Went Bad, and it does have a little story behind it. Now, the stencil you see here attached to the canvas is the actual stencil that I used to create a t-shirt, and the stencil was placed in the back of the car, and I'll explain what that scribbling is in a moment. But the stencil was placed in the back of the car where there was heat, and I'll explain what that is in a moment too. So somehow I placed the stencil in the back dash of the car where it was exposed to heat and sunlight, and thus began to roll, and which made the stencil unable to use anymore to complete the t-shirt. So only a partial part of the t-shirt got made. It was never completed, and sometimes I still wear the t-shirt, but only when I'm doing my laundry. So I hardly ever wear it out at all, and it just never got completed, and I couldn't let it just go to waste like that, be forgotten forever. So I decided that someday I was going to make use of the stencil and give it new life and make it a part of a great piece of work. And now it is. Prior to creating the stencil, the scribble scribe on the back of the stencil is kind of like a visualization technique called, well, I don't remember what it is called, but it basically you scribble something that's coming from your subconscious, and you get it out on paper, and it could just be scribbling, just an energy that's inside of you, and you can scribble it away. Like if you have some kind of energy that you want to attract, then you just kind of scribble it on the paper and visualize that thing coming to pass. And so it's kind of like a law of attraction technique. I had visualized abundance and that energy, and so I scribbled it on that paper, and then later I saved the paper and decided to use it for the stencil. So there's some good energy infused into the painting. Now, interesting story here. When I first started the painting, I laid it across these two pieces of styrofoam that I'm using to create a couple more pieces of art you'll see in the future. Now, I laid it across here, and it's still kind of tilted forward just slightly, but and my ears were stuffed up that day because of some allergies or something, and off in the distance I heard a train, and it kind of reminded me of the piano note at the beginning of this song called Smile You've Won by Lydia. And so I decided, I'm gonna listen to that song while I paint this painting. And so I started listening to that song as I painted the painting. So definitely some of the energy of that song is was some of the energy was infused into this. So at the end of that song, there is some singing as the song fades away. There's a portion at the end where the piano starts to play. And towards the end of that song, there was a water droplet right in the middle of the painting that you see me pointing to, the original spot where it began, and it started to drip along down the middle of the painting, and the water droplet seemed to dance along with the end of the song all the way down to the last part where the piano keys were being played, as if it were dancing along all the way to the bottom, to the very bottom. And so in that moment I felt like definitely the energy, even the water, even though I was listening with earphones, it's like that the water in that paint was still vibing to the energy that was coming from the song. So I thought that was a pretty cool part of the experience that I had in the creation of this painting. So what I want this painting to represent is how you can take, if you're a creative person and or an entrepreneur or someone that's got a big dream, you can take any kind of mistake or something bad that might happen, you can truly change it into something of value. Learn the lesson from it. Not just learn the lesson from it, you can do that too, but you can also figure out how to take that circumstance, that energy, that whatever it may be, and just turn it into something that's going to get you what you want, and to get you moving forward and achieving the goal, the dream, the vision. Hypnotic Magical.